O apóstolo Paulo
The Apostle Paul
falou muito bem sobre uma
has
guerra que
spoken
existe dentro
openly
de cada um de
about
nós.
a war that happens
Porque não
within
faço o
us.
bem que quero,
For the good that I will to
mas
do,
o
I
mal
do
que
not
não
do,
quero,
he said. But
esse
the evil I will not to do, that I
ele
practice.
falava deste conflito,
He was
esta
speaking
guerra
about
dentro da
this
gente que todo ser
conflict,
humano passa,
this war within
é
us
a
that
guerra
every
de
human
querer
being
fazer o bem
goes
e na
through,
prática
which
acabar
is the
fazendo o
war
mal.
to do what is
Querer
good,
acertar
but in the
e
end
acabar
to do
errando.
what is evil, trying to
Querer
get it
ajudar e
right,
acabar atrapalhando.
but in the end
Querer
getting it
agradar
wrong, trying to
e acabar
please,
decepcionando.
but in the end
Esta guerra
displeasing
dentro da
someone.
gente
This
revela
war
que
within
a
us
nossa natureza
reveals that our nature
tem
has a
uma doença.
disease.
Sabe
Do you
quando
know
a
when
pessoa nasce
someone
com uma condição,
is
ela já
born
nasce
with a
com
condition,
problema, com
with a
vírus,
generational
ela está marcada
problem?
para o resto
It's
da
like
vida
if they are marked
para
for
estar
life
sujeita àquele
to be
problema.
subject to
Quer
that
seja uma
problem,
deficiência física,
whether a
quer seja
physical
órgão que não
deficiency,
desenvolveu, rim
an
que
inner
não se
organ that
desenvolveu,
didn't develop,
olho que
an
nasceu
eye or
cego,
both
ou
eyes
olhos.
that
A pessoa vai estar
are not
o
working, the
resto da
person is
vida, na
blind.
maioria das vezes, fadada a se
Most
sujeitar
times
àquilo,
the
a viver com
person
aquilo.
is destined to live
Mas
with that.
não acontece
But it
apenas
not
no
only
corpo
happens on the
para algumas
physical
pessoas.
side, on the body of a
Para
few
todos
people.
os seres humanos,
For
a
every
doença
human
que
being,
nasce junto com ele
the disease that they are born with
chama-se
is called sin.
e ele fala
And
exatamente
he
sobre
clearly
isso
speaks
no
about
versículo
this
de Romanos
on the
7,
following verse from Romans
ele
7,
diz assim:
on verse 20.
se eu
Now, if
faço
I
o que
do what I will not to do, it
já
is no
não o
longer
faço,
I who do it,
mas o
but
pecado
sin
que habita
that
em mim.
dwells in me.
Essa
This
é a doença
is the
que nasce
disease
com
that is born with all of
chama-se
us,
pecado.
which is called
O pecado
sin.
significa
Sin
um lado
means a
dentro
side of
da
us,
nossa natureza
of our nature,
que
that we
herdamos
inherited
do primeiro
from the
homem,
first man, from the first woman,
que nos
that
faz
lead us to
inclinar para
incline ourselves to do what
desagrada,
displeases
erra.
God, to do what is wrong.
Deus naturalmente
God
nos criou
created us
dotados de
as
liberdade.
gifted beings with
Poderia ter sido
free
diferente.
will, and it couldn't be different.
Deus sabia que o homem
Some
ia
say,
pecar.
if God knew that man would sin, why did he create man?
Boa pergunta.
I will ask
Se
you
você sabia
another
que o seu
question.
filho
If you
poderia
knew
dar
your
problemas,
children
você
will
teve
give you
filho.
problems, troubles, why did you have a
Se você
child?
responder
If
essa
you
pergunta,
answer this
você vai
question, you
entender
understand why
por que
God
Deus
has
criou.
created man.
Ele
He
não
couldn't
poderia
have
ter
created
criado
man
homem de
in a
outra
different
forma, senão
way,
dotado de
but
liberdade.
with free will.
Se
If
alguém quer
someone
ser
wants to
amado,
be loved,
o único valor
its
do amor
only
está
value is
na
on the
voluntariedade.
voluntary side of
Se
it.
alguém diz
If
que
someone
ama,
loves you because they have no choice,
isso não é
this is not
amor.
love. If
Se
someone
ama
is
com
with
você
you
porque
because
você o
you
força
force
de
them
alguma
some way,
forma, isso
somehow,
não é
this is
amor.
not love. Love is the choice you make on being able to be with any person. You decide to be with one, the one you chose, to dedicate your life, to give yourself, all your energy to that person. And that's how God has created human beings, for them to have the choice to choose their father. But unfortunately, man chose evil, and then this evil entered in the human DNA, and it's called sin, the inclination to do what is not good, that we know that is not good. Everybody knows that lying is wrong, but they lie. No one likes to be robbed. Nobody likes to lose something that someone has taken unfairly from them, but many still. So people fight in them. On one side, they want to do what is good, but on the other side, they do what is evil. How do you win this war? The majority of people are defeated tragically. They are humiliated in this battle. The majority of people live in this world as slaves of their sins, who rules their lives not what is good, what is right. It's not the values, principles, character
o caráter,
What rules over
o
them
que domina sobre
is
eles
their own
é o seu
desire.
próprio umbigo, o seu
People
próprio
live
ventre. As
to
pessoas
serve
vivem
their
para
own
servir as suas
desires,
vontades, os seus desejos.
what fits them,
Serve a
regardless
elas,
of what that will mean
independentemente
to others.
para os
So the
outros.
majority of people, they live like this, in the
Escravidão do pecado. O
slavery
pecado
of sin.
domina
Why?
as pessoas.
Because they surrendered themselves to sin. They made sin their master.
E nós
And they will
sempre seremos
always be a
escravos
slave
daqueles
of the one
ou daqueles
they
que
will obey.
obedecemos.
So if you
Então, se você
obey
obedece
your sin, you
o seu
obey
pecado, obedece o
this
mandamento de
bad,
Deus, esse
evil
lado
side that is in
ruim
you
que
that
chama
calls you
o
to do
mal
what
de
is
Deus
wrong,
para ser sempre
you will
servo
always be a
desse
servant
lado.
of this side of yours called sin.
Mas para resolver
To
isso,
solve this,
qual a única
what is the
forma
only
de
way
resolver
to
isso? Qual a
solve
única
this, to
forma
overcome,
de
to
você
win this
vencer essa
battle?
batalha?
God gives us
Deus nos dá
the way. He says
Ele diz
that the only
que
way
a única
for human
maneira
beings
do
to
ser humano
win
vencer
this sin
esse
that
pecado
dwells
que
in them
vive, que habita dentro de si,
is dying.
morrendo,
Dying to themselves,
morrendo para si,
dying to sin,
morrendo para
and
o
being
pecado
born again.
e nascendo de
Being
novo,
born
nascendo
for
de
God.
Deus.
But how do I
Como é que eu
do
faço
this?
isso?
How will I
Morrer,
die to myself and be born again?
nascer de novo. Eu tenho que
Do I have to kill
matar?
myself? No, not literally.
Você tem
You
que
have to
morrer
die
às suas
to your
vontades.
will. As
Enquanto
long
você achar
as you
que as
think
suas
that your
vontades
will
são
is the
melhores
best
que
for
você,
you,
você
you
vai
will
alimentar
feed
esse pecado.
this sin.
Mas
But
quando
when
você
you
entender que a
understand
sua
that
vontade
your will
não
is
é
against
você,
you and
que a
that the
vontade
will
de
of
Deus
God
é
is way better,
melhor,
is perfect, is
perfeita,
pleasant,
agradável,
is
que
what is
aproveita
right
para
for
você.
you.
Quando
When
você
you
entender
understand
isso
this,
e então
and then
eleger
when you
viver
choose
debaixo da
to live
vontade de
under
Deus,
the will of God,
sacrificando muitas
sacrificing
vezes a
most
sua, que
times
pode ser contra
yours
dele,
that can be against
quando
His.
você
So when you choose to do this in practice, you will die to your old creature, for your old man, your old nature, and you will have dominion over this sin, and you will become a new person, a new creature. And then, not that you are completely free from it, because as long as we are humans, we are in this flesh, we are subject to temptations, inclinations, subject. But it does not mean that we need to bow to them. But as long as you are here and subjecting yourself to the will of God, you will be able to win over sin. And then evil will no longer rule over you. And you will start to become a person who naturally will be inclined to good. And this will be your new natural state. You have fear to come out from the straight line. You'll be afraid on being on any side that gets you closer to sin. Not afraid of people, but fear for God, respect for God, because it's easy for you to dodge the system, the government, your employer, the laws of this world. There are many breaches on the laws of this world. But the person who is born of God, they will not even be in need of laws in this world, because they live under a new law, the law that is written in their hearts, is written in your heart. The law of God is written in your heart. If you find someone who really is born of God and put them in a land without law, the law is there because it's in them. It's not on the outside. It's in them, written in their hearts and minds. They'll naturally live correctly without anybody watching them, without police, judges, because they will follow the word of God that is already written in their hearts. This is the desire of God for you. If you want a new life, if you want to solve this great dilemma, this great conflict within yourself that divides you between doing what is right and doing what is good, if you want this, here is the way. You have to die to yourself. You need to be born of God. And this can only be done when you surrender completely your will and accepting His as being the sovereign one for you. If today's video helped you and you know someone that could benefit from it, share it with them, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you may do so now. See you later.